Bonjour, this is Pierre from French Moments, and in this video I'll take you for a walk in the village of Rustrel in Provence. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really supports the channel and helps us bring more unique content to you. Also, if you haven't already, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Let's start our exploration of Rustrel from the car park where I've parked my car. It is located at the entrance of the village along the Route d'Apt. Let's cross the Route d'Apt to reach the historic heart of the village. Here's the Saint-Roch Oratory. It was the site of a chapel dedicated to Saint-Roch, built in 1740 in memory of the plague of 1720 that devastated Provence. The chapel has since disappeared and only this small oratory remains today. Now let's head up the Grande Rue, which serves as the high street of the village. We are located 10 kilometers northeast of Apt, at the foot of the Mont de Vaucluse. Rustrel overlooks the Apt region from an altitude of 400 meters. The countryside here grows cereals and wines that produce AOC Ventoux wines. You will also find olive trees and orchards of fruit trees. We arrive at the small square, the Place Farinette, where there is a lovely fountain from 1881. It provided water to the Farinette neighborhood until the 1960s. Let's continue the visit by following the Rue du Moulin à Huile. We enter a charming part of Rustrel. Here's the small olive oil mill museum located in the property of the former royal notary of Rustrel. It's an 18th century mill that operated until the early 1930s. It was powered by animal traction and is exceptionally well preserved. Let's turn right onto the Rue du Barry. On the right is the Rue du Moulin à Vent, a cross street that joins the Grande Rue we followed earlier. Let's take a right onto the Rue du Vent, which leads us to the castle. Here's the castle of Rustrel. The current building replaces the first castle known as Villevieille, demolished in 1590. It is typical of Upper Provence castles with its quadrilateral shape and four rounded corner towers. Today the castle houses the Rustrel Town Hall. We'll now leave the heart of the village to reach the church. It is located at the end of this street, the Rue de la Gravière. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've been to Rustrel and this part of Provence, I'd love to hear about your visit. Drop a comment below and tell us what you loved about it. The Romanesque-style church was built around 1200 by the Bishop of Apt. The church was destroyed by Raymond de Turenne in 1392 and rebuilt identically at the end of the 15th century. Let's continue exploring Rustrel by descending the Rue de l'Église, then Rue de la Poste, until we reach the Route d'Apt. In Roman times, Rustrel was owned by the Fronton family. They were a large and influential patrician family with several estates in the Apt region. The Frontons had direct ties to Rome. One of them was a tutor to Marcus Aurelius and a personal friend of Emperor Hadrian. Excavations around Rustrel have uncovered villa foundations and a Latin inscription mentioning their name. We are now heading to a hamlet of Rustrel, the Brienne neighborhood. Here's the war memorial. It is a square column flanked by 4 shells. Its marble plaques list all the residents of Rustrel who died during the First World War, the Second World War and the Algerian War. It's hard to imagine that in the 19th century Rustrel was home to 2 iron factories. The presence of ore and significant charcoal production allowed the iron industry to benefit the village's economy from 1840 to 1887. At this intersection, we will take a right onto the Boulevard Pierre Fenouil. It's actually a street lined with plane trees, which later becomes the Boulevard du Colorado. As its name suggests, it leads to the Provençal Colorado. However, it's not the recommended route to get there because the street is narrow and later becomes one-way. The Rustrel Colorado is a former open-air ochre mining site active in the 19th and 20th centuries. Mining began in 1871 and the last ochre miner retired in 1991. The golden age of ochre in the Luberon was between 1876 and 1930. Here you can admire exceptional colors in the old ochre quarries, as well as industrial remains such as quarry faces, settling basins, channels and pipes. Here's a neighborhood that I really like in Rustrel. It's the Place de la Fontaine with the lovely Brienne fountain. This is a charming shaded spot, perfect for finding some coolness on hot summer days. Let's turn around and take the same route back to the Route d'Apt. In 1966, the tranquility of Rustrel was disrupted by the unexpected arrival of 18 atomic rockets, causing quite a stir in this rural region of Provence. From 1972 to 1996, the Plateau of Albion hosted a part of France's nuclear force with intercontinental ballistic missiles equipped with nuclear warheads. Under the plateau, the French army had dug several kilometers of tunnels to house the missile launch sites. This complex was designed to withstand a nuclear attack and be able to retaliate by launching missiles. The construction of this military complex was the largest project in Europe at the time. The most notable part was the Rustrel launch site. It was accessed through a 2-kilometer tunnel with curves to absorb shock waves. This launch site was a 1,250 square meters armored capsule where 2 officers awaited a possible launch order from the President of the French Republic. In 1996, Jacques Chirac announced the end of this land-based nuclear force. After 25 years of service, the installations on the Plateau of Albion were dismantled and decommissioned. The site was taken over and transformed into a scientific laboratory by local and regional authorities. Thus, in 1997, the Low Noise Underground Laboratory of Rustrel Pays d'Apt was founded. Here we are at the charming Place de la Fête. I filmed this video on a hot day in October, and as you can see, there was no one in the streets. Well, you can imagine a festive atmosphere here in summer when holidaymakers enjoy their stay in Provence on the terraces of the squares as restaurants and bistros. All we have now to do is to go down the Route d'Apt to reach the visitors' car park. Today, the commune of Rustrel has just under 700 inhabitants. If you're looking for a village in the Luberon to stay during your holiday, Rustrel is a great option. This peaceful village is far from urban hustle and bustle, and it doesn't attract the hordes of tourists that the perched villages of the Luberon like Gordes or Roussillon do. In the village, you'll find restaurants and cafes, a post office, a tobacconist, and a bakery. Thank you for taking part in this discovery walk with me. It was a real pleasure to help you discover the village of Rustrel in Provence. I'll see you soon for other adventures. À bientôt!